and welcome to my archive. This time we are venturing to the outside, and this month, and by this month I mean May, I had the joy of going to Ireland, the Emerald Isle herself. Due to me enjoying my vacation, the footage is mid and scarce, so while I may be talking, it may not line up with the exact day that I am talking about, so sorry about that. And that is also why you're accompanied by me, voiceover Jaylene. We arrived in Dublin on a Tuesday afternoon, and after checking in early, we headed straight to a Nando's. That's my mom. Hi, mom.
Say hi, Ma.
Um, Not sponsored, but we stayed in Stay City, Dublin Center. And I think the whole concept of their apartment style hotels is really cool. And the city center one specifically was truly so close to everything. I felt like I could walk back and forth without an issue. I only have a handful of clips from day one, which is why it may be off. We ate Nando's and headed straight to Trinity College for our tour and the Book of Kells experience combo. And as great as of a tour guide Siobhan was, during the tour my stomach had not adjusted to our arrival. So for most of the tour, every time we stopped, I was basically like this. The Book of Kells itself was an unreal, crazy experience to see something so old and yet so well preserved. And just knowing it was over 1,000 years old, I believe. We did miss out on the second half, which I believe was like a video that would show us and like explain the Book of Kells history a little more detailed. But due to the cauldron bubbling in my stomach and jet lag, we headed straight back to the hotel, where I knocked out for 6 hours, woke up, ate greasy pizza, then knocked out again, watching SBU. European hotel TV, I will never understand you, I think. I don't know how to change you. I ended up on German Disney Channel at one point, and I was ready to accept my fate. So day 2 started off with a little day trip to Howth. Anyways, it is a beautiful area east of the city center and only 30 minutes away by train. We had a nice little breakfast at Pog, and then we checked out the little market area where I bought my little libh. I will say, granted, I'm jumping a little here, the train ride was so peaceful and scenic, and I think it's a great way to see like more of Ireland without really having to like step out. Anyways, back to the vlog. We also walked by the lighthouse area, and I say by the lighthouse area because we walked to the edge where you could see it from across, but we didn't walk the path where you could go up to the lighthouse itself, because there were people on that side, but we ended up not doing that. At this point, I was contemplating everything just in terms of time and whatnot, and I did not want to do the hike that I had originally planned, right? But my mother, ever encouraging, ever loving, was like, we could do it. It's fine, right? Which I'm sure she would come to regret shortly after. Because while I enjoyed it, and she claimed she did too, look at this clip.
Hello. Almost.
I will say that the hike was a little scary at some points, and then it's when other people were coming down. We ran into school trip people, like just herds of children taking this hike, and it was more so that like at one point there was a group of kids and they were doing the hike, but they were coming down towards us, and it was a point where it was like I was just seeing water to my left, which was kind of scary, and they were nudging each other, and I was like, one of these kids is just gonna go ploop, and like he's just gonna fall off the side of the cliff. It was crazy. Anyways, after that we headed back down, and once down there I decided that I didn't want to eat dinner there because we were supposed to get snacks on the Tuesday that we arrived, but because of everything with my stomach and the jet lag, we didn't get those snacks. And the snacks were essentially supposed to be for today's day trip and the day trip that we would have on the third day. And so I was like, no, I'd rather go back because like I wanted my mom to look around in Tesco and see all like Irish goods and stuff, and like what a European supermarket looks like. and Tesco, and then we also wanted to check out Aldi's because my mom wanted to see if the Aldi's was any different here, over there, I mean. And so we decided to skip out on eating in Houth, which means I will have to go back to Houth at some point. And we headed back. Let me see where I left. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I got anxious about not getting the snacks for the next day, so we headed back to early to get some stuff. That's it, basically. Day 3, we had a proper guided tour. We went to the Cliffs of Moher, the Burns, and Galway. We made a pit stop at a rest stop, obviously. And I saw Mr. Tato, and I don't have any footage of the legend himself. And I did not take a photo with the legend himself. But trust and believe, I saw Mr. Tato, and I was like, I love you, sir. The chips are really good. I had the cheese and onion. They had them at the hotel. And yeah, sorry, Mr. Tato, I failed you. The cliffs themselves were an awe-amazing sight. It wasn't exactly sunny, but it was still clear enough to like see them, and the views were just so scenic, and I feel like I could have just stayed there staring out to like the cliffs themselves for so long. And while I have you here, just enjoy me trying to recreate, not recreate, but basically I was listening to Florence Road the whole time there, and I think hanging out to dry is becoming a little more popular and well more known, compared to their other songs. It's gaining a little traction, so I wanted to share with you guys. And also, I got to tell my tour guide, and she was really excited that I brought them up because she likes them too. And I was like, ah. Anyways, enjoy whatever I try to do. After that, the rides to the Burren were beautiful and amazing, but it started to drizzle, so we didn't stay for long.
How pretty this is, right? Okay.
And but on the upper hand, on the good side, I finally got to use my Damson Matter coat.
The trash singing, mash flinging, the flash springing, ringing, the crash dinging,
which I felt was a little more for heavy rain rather than the light rain that we were experiencing in Dublin. Which, speaking of heavy rain, by the time we got to Galway was truly pouring, and that was the only time and the only part of the day where it was truly raining for me during my stay and my little ventures in Dublin, or in Ireland in general. Okay, also nearly thought that we were going to die on the way to Galway because the roads were so narrow. There were points in where the bus had to stop to let other people pass by, and I was like, how on earth are they even passing by? I truly don't know, but I was fearing my life. I discovered Dubre, I believe is how you pronounce it, the bookstore there, ironically, even though I say ironically because the one in Galway is the only location that they have on that side, and they have more Dubres in Dublin. And like in the area that we were staying in, there was like 4 of them, and I was like, how did I not notice you guys at some? And we also had Chipine, which was a recommendation from our manager, from a recommendation from our tour guide, and I think I had the garlic parmesan fries, and let me just say, I love those fries. Those chips were so good. I yearned for them. I'm thinking about them right now, and my mouth is salivating. We also had Murphy's ice cream, and on the recommendation of Ify, my tour guide, I got Irish brown bread flavor, but I also got, it's something cookie. If I remember it or if I find it, I will put it up here. Great. Day 4 and 5 were spent shopping to an ungodly amount. Something about the euro, I don't know. Something about the euro just felt cheaper. Because, like, I feel like when I went to London, yes, the pound looked cheaper. But when I was looking at my bank account, it felt more expensive. I was like, oh, she's expensive. Versus the euro looked cheap. And then when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. So, I don't know. So, on day 4, we went shopping, like, such as Penny's, aka Primark, Dubre, Arnott's for new luggages because I had too much. We also went to Eason's and Urban Outfitters. We almost made it to a pub, but dragging empty luggages on cobblestone is something very triggering to me. And just dragging luggage on cobblestone in general. I was just so overwhelmed. Which also means I have another excuse for next time. That I need to go back because I didn't get to go to a pub while I was in Ireland. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think we stayed pretty much more so on the north side of Dublin, right? And we, like, maybe here and there we would travel down towards the southern side, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm separating them correctly, because I know there's a bridge that separates them. I'm unsure about which side I was staying. I don't know which way north and south are anymore. Anyways, I was staying on one side of the river and not the other side of the river, so I felt like we were more on this side of the river rather than the opposite side, even though we would occasionally walk over to the other side, like where Temple Bar and stuff is. If I get the chance to go again, I would totally love, because there's so many things that I didn't get to see, and my mother would not let me leave. Like, I wanted to see Hodge and Fidges so bad, but I went in there with 2 books, and then my mom was like, no, you just said 2 books, so we can't look around, and I was like, no. I was like, I want more books. Books. I have 11 books, okay? And I will do a haul of everything that I bought in Ireland in a separate video because we do not have enough time for that. I also want to see, like, other parts of Ireland outside of, like, exploring more of Dublin. I also want to go to, like, the south of Ireland and also, like, the north, because I basically went east and west, and now north and south is what I need to see. Like Dongle, Cork. Aoife's mother is from Cork, and I hear it's the capital. I hear people from Cork say Cork is the capital of Ireland. So, Ireland was amazing, and it truly felt so vibrant and very green that coming home, not only was it raining, it was like great. And every time I woke up, I was like, dang, we're like so dull compared to like the vibrancy that I felt in Ireland. A separate video of my haul will be paired with this vlog, so go check it out after this video. But until next time, guys, this has been The Archive, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye bye!